Beep, 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 beep. Morning, all. How we doing? Is it morning where you are? It might be evening, for all I know. I've got an interesting one. Ireland. Let's talk about Ireland. The Irish Times today for us, because I've got one of the warrior teachers in Ireland is standing for the governmentals. So I'm very pleased about that. Our Sandra, cracking. Other than that, February start. Come on, I need more warrior teachers. Where you be? Are you hiding? Come and join us. Buy me a coffee. Please subscribe to my YouTube. This is very interesting. Now, diversity, equality, and inclusion programs are inappropriate in university culture, from William Revel in the Irish Times. New gender equity approach sacrifices equality of opportunity and primacy of scientific excellence, traditional cornerstones, criteria for awarding grants. Now, William has written about this previously. He's got a link to his previous column there. He says it was received in ominous silence, was on the subject of diversity, equality, inclusion, DEI, or DI as I like to call it. And this is programs of DI in university. I explained these programs, at least in their current forms, are incompatible with academic freedom. It's all incompatible with academic freedom. A cornerstone of the university mission. I return to that theme today with specific illustrations of other problems posed by DEI in our universities. Most scientific research is carried out in universities. Laboratory science is expensive and is dependent on funding from scientific grant awarding agencies, most of which are state agencies such as the NASA, the National Institute of Health in the USA, and Research Ireland, formerly Science Foundation Ireland. Now, in the UK, the body that would do this type of thing that William is talking about is UKRI, which is the Research and Innovation Funding folk. They've got about 7 billion of our money every year, and they're completely captured, by the way. You can go and have a look. I've written about it before. So what happens is scientists submit research proposals to these bodies outlining their research plans, detailing a budget necessary to support this research over several years, and summarize their track record of research and their professional expertise. Awards have always been made on the basis of scientific merit of the application. So in other words, what does this bring to science? Is this something that is vital to science? So they're looking for efficacy of this particular research bid. So far, so good, right? Get it? But DEI regulations are now being introduced to ensure scientific grants are awarded strictly on a 50-50 gender basis. So the number of male and female awardees must be equal. Oh boy. God, what a mess. Now, he's said the word gender here. Well, in that case, it can also be 50% women, 50% men and 50% trans women, or 50% trans men and 50% women. So it's very unclear when they're using the word gender, like here, instead of the word sex, which is what they mean, that it causes this problem in our initial understanding. But for the moment, let's go with they mean sex. Okay. The policy has already been implemented in Australia, and it seems Canada will follow suit. Undoubtedly, pressure will be applied to spread this model worldwide. William, it's already happening. If you look at UK, I would urge you to have a look at UKRI in England. It's already happening. So, skipping past the adverts, the Investigator Grant Scheme, that's what it's called, is the largest funding scheme for Australia's health and medical research force. In 2023, following application of the gender equity, there's the word, reforms described above, roughly equal numbers of awards are made to men and women, with women receiving more funding overall than men, as outlined by the National Health and Medical Research Council. The justification given for introducing the new scheme was that before 2023, men were very significantly more successful in winning research grants than women. Men received about 35% more grants than women in the 2019 to 2022 period. This new gender equity approach sacrifices both equality of opportunity and primacy of scientific excellence, traditional cornerstone criteria for awarding grants. An excellent application from a man or a woman may now fail to win an award in his or her gender category because the standards there are very high, while she is ineligible to win an award in another gender category, even though her application has more scientific merit than some award-winning projects in that category. Equality of opportunity is sacrificed for equality of outcome. Ireland here, according to William, suddenly getting it. William, has the penny dropped? That's what I'm asking. But there is no need to make this ham-fisted change in the grant awarding criteria, as was explained by the eminent theoretical physicist L. Krauss in Quillette in December 2021. The lopsided gender distribution of research grants in Australia, for instance, is accounted for by the historically higher intake of men than women into science. Now, this is very interesting. Let's imagine for a moment, just so we can get our noodles around what William is bringing us here, that there is a scientific project involving the production of goblin detecting devices that can burrow underground and head for the center of the earth, right? This is a very specialist region of science, these goblin detecting devices. So a message goes out, right? We need more research into goblin detecting at the center of the earth. Now, in the country, there are 12 people who are specialists in this, right? 9 women and 3 men are specialists in goblin detecting at the Earth's core. They've got 4 grants, 2 of which must go to men and 2 of which must go to women. The problem is, right, that there are 3 men who are really good at it and the other women aren't. I'm using that way round. You could put it the other way around if you like. The 9 women are brilliant at it, the 3 men aren't. So in other words, the 4 grants should all go to the women, or the 4 grants should go to 3 men and the best woman. Can you see the problem here? Can you see the problem? So in essence, you're building incompetence or second level abilities into any given project. Don't look at me. This is what it says. In the 2019-22 statistics show that among younger scientists, more women than men won awards, but among senior scientists, more men than women won large awards, mainly because senior women scientists were not applying for grants at the same rate as senior men. For historical reasons, there are still far more senior men than senior women in science. The historical factor is fast losing influence. The intake of women into science now equals the intake of men. The asymmetric distribution of research grants between men and women would soon disappear if the award granting system was left alone, while maintaining the essential priority of ranking absolute applications only on the basis of excellence. Krauss also notes more than 10% of the science funding awarded by the major US science agency goes to funding DI projects and not to supporting science. Same over here now in the UK. Same here. They build it in now. You must make a DEI statement and talk about how you're gonna, pay for somebody to put this person on a pedestal, or how you're going to teach people that they're unconscious racist swine. You have to do it now. It's all part of the bed. That's what they're spending our money on. Swine. There is, however, one area where women scientists undoubtedly deserve special consideration, and this is when applying for career promotion. For example, promotion from lecturer to senior lecturer in a university. History of publication of scientific papers is a vital part of one's case for promotion. Many younger women scientists naturally want to have children. This necessitates taking 9 to 12 months maternity leave from scientific work each time you have a child. Many young women want to have 2, perhaps 3 children, with 2 to 3 years spacing between births. This will significantly reduce scientific paper production compared to male colleagues. Therefore, other factors being equal, younger women scientists who take maternity leave are at a disadvantage relative to their male colleagues for this reason. But the human race would die out if women stopped having children, and so to penalise women in a way for continuing the race would be grossly unfair. How clever is that? Thanks, William. William Revel is an emeritus professor of biochemistry at UCC. Emeritus, that's a wonderful word, isn't it? Emeritus. Notice the word merit in there. I know. I mean, it's just strange. When the thing about the history of promotion is really interesting, isn't it? Yep. Isn't it? A history of a publication of scientific papers is a vital part of one's case for promotion. Well, they need to end that, don't they? So if a woman's published 10 pieces and a man's published 20 pieces because the woman's been busy doing other things like keeping the planet going, how would you then? What would you do in order to get that to work? I know. Why don't you do the number of citations for each one, divided by the number of papers as your figure? Am I being simple? I'm not a scientist. I'm not an academic. Perhaps I'm being simple. You'll tell me, won't you? In the dubris. Because you always do. Now come be a warrior teacher. I need you. I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.